Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Comic Book ASM Artist live stream. We'll be doing our subscriber giveaway here in a while, but we're just going to do a standard Q&A. It's been a long time since we've done one of these, so I figured now would be a good time to do it, especially with the drawing and everything like that. So I'm going to check how everything's looking from the YouTube angle here. Make sure the picture and everything's looking good on the actual video. I'll fix the thumbnail later, so it's got my channel banner, I guess, on there, which was actually taken at my local comic shop whenever I had the Bull #1 on sale there. Okay, so I see Brawl Gamer has showed up. Good to see you. So yeah, I haven't done one of these in a long time. I think it's possibly even been like June or something crazy like that. Even today, like scheduling was kind of crazy. So actually today was the longest I've stayed at my job in a while. I was actually planning to do this an hour earlier, but stuff just didn't work out. So I see Eric Harper is on here as well. Hey, thanks for coming. I really appreciate all your comments and support, Eric. So yeah, do you guys have any questions for me? Feel free to let me know. I guess I'll just ramble a bit. We'll be on here for a full hour. We'll probably do the giveaway at the midway point. Gives time for people to get in, and just in general, I don't want to do the announcement and then have her and run off. So yeah, I guess I can just talk about a little bit of my hectic day, but not too much because it's kind of whatever. So yeah, I found out that for my job I needed to do a N95 mask fitting. And so I got to our main office where we're supposed to do the fitting at, and I had no clue when I went in. And I'm supposed to be fully clean shaven to do that. So I'm gonna go back on Monday and I'm gonna shave all this facial hair, which it's been a while. I think it's been about a year since since we since I've shaved my face fully, and even then I didn't care for how it looked. But since this is to get a certificate for uh, compliancy for my company, I work with individuals with special needs, and one of the things is making sure we've got everyone trained for the N95 mask fittings. So I'm not sure why it's so late in the game, but that's something that they decided to make us all do. So I'm going to shave this on the weekend. I actually have a funeral to go to tomorrow. Unfortunately, my wife's grandma passed away. So we're going to be going about 3 hours away to do that. And yeah, so we'll see what happens for this weekend's video. I'm not sure. I wasn't able to get my previews catalog that I was planning on doing. So, but that'll probably be maybe a midweek bonus video for next week. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do for Saturday's video or not. So Eric, let's see, your channel's archetype is the dream. So yeah, I'm glad you think so, Eric. And yeah, it's not too bad work. It's definitely not for everyone. You have to have a lot of patience. It's it's not for everyone. I'm someone who's pretty patient and understanding with most people. So actually, my background is youth ministry. I went to college to major in youth and family ministry. So my background is actually in youth ministry, but basically, I was unemployed for a stretch of time, and there was an opening at my company. So I took it up, and I've been at my job for almost 9 years now, and I've been a manager there for 6 years. So Bra Gamer asks, who's my favorite Green Lantern? So I think it's just kind of standard. I like Hal Jordan. He's kind of like the one a lot of people think about. He's been in the most stuff. Haven't read a ton of Green Lantern. I know like the basic premise of everything. He is a cool guy though, from what I've seen and read. He's his whole thing is he's fearless and stuff. He was a fighter pilot, if I remember, and stuff like that. So he's got a bit of serviceman in him already. And then I liked I'm trying to remember what his last name is, but Kyle, the Green Lantern in the '90s, who came right after the whole stuff with or Hal got corrupted, if I remember correctly. I don't, like I said, I don't remember anything. I just kind of remember like he had like the white hair and he turned evil and stuff like that. It was just kind of, there was a lot of stuff happening in the 90s just to kind of shake up the status quo. And so I remember Kyle had stepped in. And if I remember, I think they said Kyle was an artist. And so that was something that I thought was pretty cool. And, he was a teenager, and me being a young kid, I liked reading about teenagers and stuff like that. So made it relatable, but I haven't read a ton. I know he is a White Lantern now, if I remember correctly. So, but yeah, there's a whole ton of stuff I haven't read. Man, if I had like infinite time and money, I would just focus so much energy on all that stuff. Oh, Kyle Rayner. That's what I think in Ratner. I was like, no, that can't be right. Yeah, Parallax and the Era was really cool and new. You should read Jeff Jones. Yeah, I've heard his stuff's really good. Pretty long too, yeah. And a lot of great art there as well. I know what's his name? Patrick Gleason did a stint too on Green Lantern, and you guys know I like his stuff as well. Who's my favorite Captain America writer and artist? I recall from your previous hangout, you're a big fan. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's quite a few periods in Cap I really enjoy. Um, the one to beat currently would be Steve Epting and Ed Brubaker. That current team, I haven't really picked up uh, Captain America arc since then. That's really excited me. I love how they just kind of made it serious and believable, but yet they did a lot of incredible stuff. Bringing Bucky back from the dead and doing all the weird things they did with the Red Skull and all that sort of stuff. So that was a period. The modern period I really enjoyed. I really liked Mark Waid and Ron Garney's run. That's when I started to officially collect Captain America, the Heroes Return stuff, where he washed up in Japan. And then later he fights the Red Skull, and that was switched over to Captain America. That was done by still Wade, but then I think Andy Kubert, I believe. And so that period was really cool, and Jurgens stuff that followed. You guys know I love Dan Jurgens' work. So yeah, I really enjoyed that bit of Captain America as well. Previous periods before that, I was a huge fan of Mike Zeck's run. I just loved how he drew faces and stuff. They're very expressive. He did like that great cover of Caps, like holding that gun like at the reader, like yelling. They did like the Deathlock stuff. I don't remember who wrote it at that time. I think it was Mark Grunwald, if I remember, but I wasn't so keen on the writing as much as I was the art style. And then, of course, Stanley, Jack Kirby, Cap, good stuff. Um, the Tales of Suspense early days when he was sharing a book with Iron Man. I really enjoyed, all the big action and just kind of introducing the readers to all of these brand new ideas and characters. Just really loved all of that. Oh yeah, yeah. Roger Stern and John Byrne. Yeah, they had theirs was around a 6-part thing, but yeah, there's two for sure. But it's so short, like it's so brief that I didn't really think about it. But yeah, that's a good one too. Absolutely, Eric. Yeah. Trying to remember if there's any more that I missed, but I think those are the main ones I really liked. And I haven't really well, I mean, I know like Burns done a lot of other stuff. You guys know I love his Superman work. I haven't read Burns' Fantastic Four stuff, his She-Hulk stuff, which is pretty amusing from what I remember. Just the covers and stuff, which is considered crass or now, whatever, but still. So yeah, I've seen lots of John Burns stuff on other things, but haven't delved in and read a lot of it. I think he worked on X-Men for a period too, if I remember, but I didn't personally recall reading a lot of it. I'm thinking about who else here. And as far as Roger Stern goes, I'm trying to remember what other stuff Roger wrote. I know he's been around forever, but I certainly don't recall, every single thing ever written, obviously. Favorite Superman artist. So, yeah, that's kind of touch and go for me. I really have a fondness. For that whole period when I was, personally being introduced to the character, just kind of that stretch in the early years. So going back to John Byrne's Superman, transitioning all the way through everything after the Crisis event, Dan Jurgens stuff. Um, I'm blanking on them now, but all the people who worked on them at that time. Art Bear worked on them there. Um, I'm thinking of who else am I thinking of? You guys know. I've got one of his things over here in a stack. He did that great American Way cover for him. I can't seem to find it at this second though. Um, oh yeah, but John Bogdanov, I loved like his really stylized take on Superman. I made him like big and bulky and just kind of over exaggerated. Um, Geez, I can't remember now. How horrible. But you guys know it was everyone who was kind of in that '90s period there. Um, and then I love like Tom Grummett's Superboy. I think he drew Superboy better than he drew Superman, just because he kind of gave kind of younger features. I felt, and so I think he was better for Superboy. But I know he did. I think the Adventures line for a while. Tim Sale's a wonderful Superman artist, but there's so many. Yeah, Tim Sale's a good one, but he's one of those ones for sure. He hasn't done a bunch of stuff with the character, so he's not, when I think of like a consistent artist. But yeah, I love Tim Sale's stuff. He's very stylized as well. He makes a lot of interesting choices. Some people say he draws ugly people, but it's just fun to look at. Comics have the ability to just kind of transport and transform in their own unique way, which is part of the fun of them. So it doesn't matter if something looks really realistic or believable, because the point is just to escape anyway. So let's see here. Watching from Denmark. Well, hello there. Welcome. Sheraton, hope you're having a good evening. I'm having a good evening doing the stream, but my day was really hectic, so we barely almost didn't even get to do this um, at at this time. Like it's supposed to be an hour earlier. So, but yeah, so I'm working on this right now and just kind of going through it here. I do want to respond to another message I have. Real quick. Sorry for the delay, guys. All right, sorry about that. Let's see. So no new comments yet. So yeah, I felt like I've read a couple comments before from Sheraton as well. I remember I've read some greetings from Denmark and stuff like that. So that's one thing I really enjoy is the fact that people can watch the channel from anywhere and enjoy it. Even though I can't speak other languages and stuff like that. Um, then we I got distracted here. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the beauty of just connecting with people everywhere. Even though I can't speak other languages, you guys are still somehow able to enjoy this. I'm assuming you guys can understand English or as much as I'm able to communicate. I wish I could was more apt to other languages and stuff, and so everyone just doesn't comment in English and everything like that. Sometimes I have used like Google Translate to other people who've left questions and stuff like that. So yeah, Eric says more hangouts and live streams the better. Yeah, I'd certainly like to do more of them too. Just kind of scheduling type of thing. But it wasn't intentional that I haven't done them in a while, it just kinda happened, so hopefully they'll happen more frequently. I've got, more, construction projects and things going on in my house, so there's kinda that element that, I'm dealing with. So it's even up here, like, I had my stuff downstairs for a period just in case I got home and people are up here working, so I wouldn't, interrupt what they were doing and then have to compete with construction sound and things like that. So, um, but yeah, it's going good so far. And yeah, I'd love to do more of these, not necessarily giveaway themed, but not every week anyway, but certainly at least once a month or something like that, because I haven't meant to do it where it's almost been a year since we've done one of these. Yeah, I appreciate that, Sheraton. I really do. Like I said, I try my best to communicate with everyone, but sometimes it's difficult. But I appreciate wherever you're at, um, and I just love interacting with everyone. And that's why I'm glad that this particular giveaway, we've only got 2 items in it, so I can ship them anywhere and feel okay about it. The previous contests we've done. Um, I think both of them, or there may have been 3 different ones we did, but I know for 2 of them went to other countries, and one of them was crazy shipping, and the other one is still still a bit shocking for shipping costs. But 2 books, I feel no matter where in the world they go, that's something I can afford, even if it's another country or whatever. For a couple books, it would probably be around maybe 20 to $40. But yeah, one of them, I think the first one I did that winter, their shipping and everything, was crazy. It was super crazy. And then, like, the amount of stuff, because it was 100 mystery comics in a box, from my local comic shop, so I didn't even know what was in there. So I literally bought it from the shop and then went to the post office right afterwards, and shipped it right out. And then there wasn't even anything good in there, and the shipping was crazy to get it over there. But so I'm just trying to cultivate more, and even now I think I've got some stuff kind of set aside. But I am actively looking for more prizes and stuff too. That's the thing. If whoever wins or doesn't win the giveaway, don't be discouraged and unsub. Like, I love doing giveaways and stuff like that. And we live near the Funko HQ, at least until the lease is up in 3 years. Who knows if they'll move or not? So we can give away some rarer Funko items there and stuff. And yeah, so there's all sorts of stuff we can do. So yeah, thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. Yeah, I try to hit every single comment that I see. So, and yeah, that's really the highlight of doing it all, is just connecting with you guys. So let's see, making sure that everything is still active and moving here. Already. So yeah, if any got any other questions here, let me know. We are 20 minutes in. I guess we can do the giveaway now. But please don't drop off. Try to stick it out for a little bit here if you can. So we've got our lovely Captain America soup container. I have a Batman one too in my drawer, but I'm not sure which one I did last time. So I think I did Cap last time as well, but it's whatever. So we will do our drawing right now for our copies of, we got X-Men Legends #4 by Walt and Louise Simonson, signed right there. And these guys are legends, so it's just kind of crazy that they had this. And yeah, I spent like 43 bucks on it, which is not bad. I mean, these days I've met mostly everyone I've wanted to meet at conventions. So, that's about the cost of a convention to see, a keynote guest like them. So, and then we have ENIAC #1, first printing. If you guys are unaware, this is from Bad Idea. They do they sell only in specific shops, which is kind of the point of the thing. It's a bad idea that they would be selective and, not be able to be available to every single shop and all this sort of stuff. And they could only sell like one copy at a time. Actually, the only reason I have this one is because someone else that I knew said, "Yeah, go ahead and use it for your channel." So I had my own copy that I had got, and then he got one too. And so he said, "Yeah, use it for your channel." So I actually have one of these for myself too. But yeah, so we have ENIAC number one first printing. So those are our prizes. So let's see. All right, let's see who our winner is here. So we've just pulled our name here. And all righty, if you're still here, Bra Gamer. Bra Gamer, you are our winner. So just all you've got to do is email me at jaketheartist, all one word run together, jaketheartist at yahoo.com. Say, hey, this is a Bra Gamer. I won on the live stream, and drop me your address, and I will get that sent out to you. Probably won't be any time this week or anything like that with everything going on, but I'll certainly get it out to you as soon as I can. And yeah, thanks so much for joining the channel and enjoying the content. I think you're a more recent subscriber. I do remember you commenting though, so I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you won. So let's keep going here. Put that aside there. All right, little. Yeah, you want to talk about X-Men here. So yeah, X-Men is another just kind of staple. It's one of those things like I've said in the past, like my mom was super protective of me as a kid, and so she was pretty much anything we read or watched or anything like that, she would censor stuff or just completely divert us from things. So at that time, X-Men had a lot of very attractively drawn women and stuff like that. So as a kid, didn't get to read a lot of X-Men the comics and stuff. We were huge on like the cartoon, and even that was kind of like us fingers crossed that mom wouldn't walk over and then suddenly see something that she didn't like on the television. So, but Fox Kids X-Men was a huge staple in our house. Like Fox just had so many great hero shows at that point. And so, yeah, it was just really cool and certainly something that we looked forward to like every single day. I think I've got a cat trying to get in here or something. So apologies for the noise, but yeah, we absolutely loved watching X-Men and stuff like that. And, and I felt like they did a lot more response to kind of the later like Jim Lee era type of X-Men stuff, which was the most popular. So it made sense that they would try to bring a lot of those things over. But it was fun just to kind of experience them and just kind of going back and seeing those comics that inspired certain episodes and stuff like that. So it was really cool. Yeah, I think, of course, like Wolverine was like every kid's favorite, the destruction and the tough guy feel and everything like that. Always loved like Beast's use of big words and stuff. And as a kid, I didn't understand all the words he was saying, but like that was a mark of a good show. The fact that they didn't water down who Beast was, but rather, would make you personally go off and say, I wonder what that word he said was. Let me go look it up. And, most of the time he would use it in context. So, it was communicated clearly, but you just suddenly learned new words because of Beast. So pretty cool stuff. Yeah, and with the theme song too, from what I hear, is that it was actually something they ripped off from, I think a show in India or something like that, and so I think there was some sort of lawsuit or something. You can look it up if you wish, but, um, yeah, there was some sort of thing, and I heard it too, like, because I saw the article and they posted the links to both of them, um And yeah, they were certainly very close, which I was surprised because that's the X-Men theme is such a great song. It's got a lot of high energy and stuff like that. But it certainly was heavily influenced by another song. I don't remember the name of that song, but I know that there was some sort of like pending case or something with it. And then I liked that the end too, they wouldn't always show up, but they'd have like the 3D turnaround um, concept character figures that almost looked like the 12-inch action figures, but it was like the CG images of all the characters. I thought that was really cool, and they didn't always show them, and sometimes you would see different ones than you'd see previously. Um, I remember whenever they had like the few times where they had like things would be like movie events kind of like on Friday or Saturday night as opposed to the regular, during the morning time thing. I think they did it for um what was it? They did it for the Phoenix Saga, of course. And then they did it for one too with who I want to say it was like the Lady Deathstroke. It was like a two-part episode. It was kind of a little bit more violent than usual. Um and I'm trying to remember if they did a few more like that, but yeah, I certainly remember there was a few times where they like, they put it on a pedestal and then, you would see it suddenly on at nighttime. But of course they did that for a few other things too. I know they did that with like the Haunted Mask for the Goosebumps movie premiere and stuff like that. But yeah, the animation was really good. There's certainly inconsistencies in it because it was a lot of hand done stuff, but I was always impressed with how on model their stuff got as they could, because like I said at the time, the books were certainly a lot more provocative um, than the cartoon, but they did an incredible job at making everyone look pretty accurate and just little details, and then just kind of keeping the shading and stuff how it was. With that and Batman, it just didn't water down the adult themes too much. Yeah, and I remember being annoyed as a kid when there was like I'm trying to remember, I think it was Point of View was the episode about like all the detectives like talking about their interaction they had with Batman, and like Batman was like mentioned in the episode but never seen except for like as a shadow silhouette in each of their stories and stuff. I remember being so ticked off at that episode because I'm just like, I want to see Batman. I don't want to see all these police people talking and stuff. But of course, now, I come to appreciate, the artistry of that and how they were able to do a narrative without, just throwing Batman in there. And then just kind of a few other ones. The one where Bruce gets kidnapped and he's kind of like working like slave labor type of stuff and loses his memory and eventually gets it back and saves those people. And then the same thing kind of too with the underdwellers where he finds that guy who's kidnapping all those kids and rescues them like from the sewers and stuff. Yeah, so there was, quite a few of those. I would say there was maybe 5 or 10 episodes that um had that. And then there was the one, what was it? It's Not Too Late, about the guy trying to reform like his mob stuff. He was like trying to kill someone or something. Thorne wanted him to kill someone, if I remember, but then he refused. So then he put a hit out on him or something like that. And he felt he was responsible for like the death of his friend who got hit by a train or something like that. So there are certainly some very heavy moments in those cartoons for sure. Yeah, you're welcome, bro. I'm really glad that you were able to get it, and I hope that you enjoy it. So, like I said, make sure to email me, jaketheartist at yahoo.com. Let me know, say, hey, this is Broad Gamer. I won the giveaway, and just drop your address, and I'll make sure you get it. So, yeah, the two-part Two-Face thing was incredible. That's definitely one of my favorite episodes. That was certainly responsible for making Two-Face one of my favorite villains. And what's funny, like a lot of those guys didn't have a ton of episodes, but the episodes they had were so well done that you didn't need, 20 something episodes of just like overdone concepts and stuff, and they kept it fresh and unique, and then like stuff like Almost Got 'Em where they had like little brief like even what were they even like 3-minute stories a piece about how they all almost killed Batman and stuff. And then the running gag with Killer Croc saying, and then I hit him with the rock. And then, of course, it's revealed that that's, Batman dressing up as Croc later and helps take him down, and all that fun type of stuff. So, yeah, I love that. Like, I haven't seen a lot of stuff recently that I responded to like that with cartoons. I'm sure that there are some good ones, but I'm not actively sitting down and trying to find them. I know there's a few of like the DC cartoons and stuff, like the movies that are pretty good. From what I've heard, is they always try to change a few elements, and so it kind of doesn't come across the same way. Um, but I can certainly appreciate elements of trying to be accurate to it. I know I watched the like the Dark Knight Frank Miller stuff, and that was really cool because they were really, they stretched it out. That was a two-part movie, and they just took their sweet time. They addressed like every single scene. If I remember correctly, I think everything was in there. So so that was really enjoyable. I still want to watch like the Reign of the Superman thing because I just really loved that storyline. But I know that there's quite a few of them. Like they've just kind of retooled them a little bit, and the styles aren't quite the same artistically as they are in the books. But it's hard to pull that off because the level of detail and stuff like that. A Mask of the Phantasm. Yeah, that was one that was really rough because yeah, I saw both parts of it. Phantasm was really rough because they put so much work into it, and then like it just kind of fizzled at the box office, and like even though it was an amazing film with like a lot of really good elements in it, um, they were discouraged from doing stuff like that again because like the reception was so low, which it came out around Christmas time, but it wasn't like really marketed a ton. And if I remember too, I think Paul Dini, he was talking on Kevin Smith's Fat Man on Batman podcast that they just kind of had like they had bits of it kind of like hacked together, and then there was just like this heavy push like timeline to get things done quick. They were more or less trying to, they had already committed to that spot before there was already a product to put in that spot, and so there was a big race to try to get it done in time. And so because of that, even though it was a great movie, it could have been even better had they had the proper planning and stuff like that. But I know he was saying that it was a really rough project. So, and then on top of that, the turnaround was, oh, it didn't do well. So that wasn't great. So, but yeah, great movie. Would certainly love to see more stuff like that. Yeah. And then I remember I briefly read, I know they did like the Phantasm showed up in a Batman animated annual. I think it was animated annual number two, or even annual number one for like the Batman and Robin Adventures series. And so for a while, I know that book, like the value of it was going crazy because that was like the first comic appearance of the Phantasm. Although technically they did like a comic book adaptation of the movie when it came out. So I'm just like, yeah, there's really, if you really want to say that's the first appearance, you probably have to point to the actual comic book adaptation of the movie. But yeah, so I know that that annual was going for crazy amounts of money. That was whenever they had announced that Phantasm was going to show up in Tom King's Batman Catwoman series, and and that's been okay, but it certainly seems very far removed from you know that movie and the stories told elsewhere. But it is what it is. So but yeah, and that's one of the few. I've got almost all of the red card backed Batman animated figures. I should do a video on that one day, but I've got to pull them all off of my wall if I do that, and it's a lot of work. So, but the Phantasm is one of the ones that I don't have, one of the few that I don't have because that was in the 2-pack with Batman. And so, like, and I've got no space left on my wall for it either. So, let's see here. If I remember, yeah, it's been a while though. I've got the book on the shelf that it appears in. I don't want to knock things over though, but it shows. I want to say Lady Shiva's in there. Let's see if I can pull it since we're talking about it. That's adventurous. Okay. So let's see. It's okay. So if you don't want to break the bank and read the story, it's in the Batman and Robin Adventures Volume 2 trade. And so yeah, this is the book right here. So it's the annual #1 to the Batman and Robin Adventures. And there's like a bit of the recap from the movie in there. Yeah, and then Mike Parobeck did part of it too. Yeah, so it's got like Lady Shiva is in there. And yeah, I'm seeing like a lot of flashback elements. But yeah. And there's a reveal at the end and stuff. So check that out if you haven't for sure. That continues from the movie. So oh, you're welcome, Eric. Yeah, and that's what's good about being right here next to quite a bit of my stuff. The other side of where all my short boxes though right now has a bunch of things that I've moved from the closet space because there's work needing to be done in there. So I had to move that area so it's ready to work, which unfortunately makes it where I can't put away any of my floppies for who knows how long, which hopefully will be sooner rather than later. I might just end up measuring the spot myself and getting it done, maybe. I don't know. But we'll see. But yeah, you can find. Do you have the McFarlane figures? Are you talking about the ones you picked up again, like the DC Direct ones? I know I pre-ordered them back in the day when this was like pre-COVID or whatever, and then they just kind of disappeared into the void. And then I know like he is re-releasing the DC Direct stuff. I don't have those. I guess those ones have orange backs on them. Those are the Adventures Continues figures, like Deathstroke and Red Hood, Azrael. I think there's one more too I wanted. And then I know like the Red Mist Batman. They haven't even done that story yet. There's like the Batman Who Laughs done in animated style. I have a few of the McFarlane's figures for DC, but I don't have the animated ones. I've just got like the regular red carded DC Direct ones because I prefer the Fox Kids art style over the WB ones. I do have a few of the blue card ones, but I don't have a ton of them. So I've got like just basically like the main, like, Nightwing and Bruce, and then Tiny Tim Drake Robin, and then I have like the Girls Night Out pack that's got Batgirl in there, and then Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, and Supergirl and Livewire. So my favorite Robin probably just have to go with Dick Grayson. He's got kind of the most development, I guess, just kind of the longest narrative out of all of them. And, continuing on as Nightwing, like, I don't buy a ton of books, but I still buy Nightwing every single month, even though I usually end up selling it off in arcs because I try to condense space. So I am current on Nightwing though. Like every time it comes out, I get it, as you guys have seen. So I do like Tim Drake stuff. I like the fact that he figured out who Batman was and all that. He like the detective work. I love like his intelligence and stuff. I loved the stuff with him and like the Young Justice series. That was like one of my favorite comic series growing up when I was a teenager. So yeah, I certainly enjoyed Tim Drake a lot too. I didn't read a ton of like standalone Robin comics though, but I have a feeling if I went back and read the Tim Drake stuff, I would enjoy it a lot too. So, and then he really rocked having like the bow staff too. I think that was his one of his main things. Yeah, and then let's see, and then the little mini series they did, like just the Robin and the Robin Two, and those are cool. I really liked those a lot. Oh yeah, of course I've played the Arkham games. Um, I've completed all of them. Actually, just recently re-got what is it, the Back to Arkham editions that were like HD remasters of the PS3 ones and stuff like that. So um, yeah, the only thing frustrating was Arkham Knight with the Batmobile stuff. It was cool to drive the Batmobile, but I have always had issues um, driving anything in any video game. So it's like, there are games that are just like they try to shake up the gameplay dynamic. Like it'd be cool if there was like a car chase here or whatever. And it's like if you're used to playing a game that's a platformer or shooter, and then suddenly, oh, let's throw you in a vehicle. Like I just don't care for that. So, and then the fact that they had like so many things that like hedged on competence with the Batmobile in that game. I know particularly, I know there's like some Riddler trophies that pertain to races and stuff like that. So, so those are frustrating, and for that reason, I didn't get 100% on Arkham Knight, but all the other Arkham games I 100%ed. I got close on Arkham Knight, but because of those Batmobile parts, I didn't. So which one is my favorite? Probably Arkham City, just because that's the sweet spot. They perfected the combat mechanics at that time. It's fully open world. There's all of like the side challenges and stuff you can do. You can choose to prioritize wherever you want to go, whichever way you want to do it. Um, and yeah, I like that on Arkham Knight as well. They just continue. It's just the only thing that keeps Night from being my favorite is the Batmobile sequences. So, but as a whole, all of them are great. I love the narrative that was told all the way through. I loved, the character designs. I loved the fact that they got so many of the voice actors to come back and reprise roles and stuff. Just really nice. So, and then I don't know how many people played like the Arkham Origins game. Like that's a good game too. Like, and it looked pretty beautiful. But since it wasn't one put out by Rocksteady, it's not one that gets played a lot, and it's not even in like the remastered collections and stuff like that. But it's really good. The hardest thing in that game though is the fight with Deathstroke. It gets pretty ridiculous. So like that's my word of caution on that. That's like where I see most people get stuck. I was able to beat the game fully and everything like that, but it's fun. But it's definitely 2015. So yeah, I think that's probably Arkham Knight then. Yeah, we got Crimson Ghost Comics on here. So that's the first time I've seen you comment right now. So well, welcome, Crimson. I'm glad that you're able to come here, and I appreciate your kind comments about the channel here. So, hope we will be doing more streams and stuff like that. maybe once a month. I can't guarantee weekly, but even this, like, it's like, what are the odds? Like, today's the latest I've had to stay at work in the longest time, and then I had to do other side stuff before I could come home, and I was like, "Well, I'll just do it at the top of the hour," and so that way it still kind of communicates the same. Because even in the video, I'm like 7 or 8, whatever the time zone is. So, we're out here in Seattle, so it's like I think it's Pacific, because Pacific Northwest, so I don't know, but yeah, so I was just like, "Well, just do it at 8 here instead of 7." Yeah, I'll try to do once a month. I can't commit to it, but that's the thing. I've just got so many plates spinning. Like, it's just looked at like bonus stuff, but we're getting a lot of steam now. I'm certainly seeing a lot more increased metrics as far as like YouTube Studio and stuff like that goes. It was a crawl for a bit, but I think it helps having that 2000, like that's at least indicating kind of the start of something bigger. Even 1,000's good, but if you have at least 2,000, people are more likely to jump aboard. And yeah, I've been doing this for almost 5 years now, and I think we're getting enough traction. I'm starting to be a lot more pleased with the metrics and stuff. I just wish I could put out more videos a week, mainly, but because when I started, I was putting them out like almost every single day, but at that time I didn't really have an audience, so I got frustrated because I would be putting out 4 videos a week, and then I would be getting only a few of views, and most of those were readings too. At the When I started all this, I was reading like a lot of the Rebirth stuff, like Batman Rebirth, um, Superman Rebirth, Action Comics, Detective Comics, and then I was doing IDW Ninja Turtles, and then I think I did Nightwing as well. Like, I was reading stuff like crazy, and I was doing it through screenshots, and then I would clip them and like put them on like a slideshow, and then like I would read the panel, but like I didn't have it timed right. I couldn't just swipe through them on my initial program, and so I would like read a full panel, and then I would just sit there like quietly for 20 seconds of dead air, and then it would move to the next panel. And so wasn't the smoothest thing. So all of those old ones like that I pulled off. Those were all done like directly from my phone, and then I had like the little mic clicked into the top of the headphone jack and stuff. So all those ones have completely privated, but yeah, that's where I started. So I'm not sure if any of you remember that or recall, but yeah. So, oh, see, he says he's in Oregon. So, yep, same time zone, absolutely. Yeah, I live in Washington. Yeah, we live in the Seattle Everett area. Really, the Everett area. It's just Seattle's the bigger landmarker, but yeah, we're in the epicenter of Everett, more or less. We've got my comic shop is pretty close to me, just Everett Comics, and then the Funko HQ is really close as well. So really fortunate to be near both of those things, because that's a huge thing for me. And then we can hop on the bus and get to downtown and stuff like that, like downtown Seattle and stuff. So let's see. Let me read a few more of these comments here. British Columbia, nice, Eric. So yeah, I think that's probably this kind of the same too then. Oh, good. You're in Washington too, bro. That's awesome. Pacific Northwest rules. Yeah, it's pretty great. I'm from Mississippi originally, so I never planned on being in this area and getting exposed to all this stuff, all the conventions and stuff like that. Like, there was never anything growing up like that. Um, I have never, there was like never any conventions. There is now, but like I never thought I was going to meet like Stan Lee or anyone like that. But now I've met like most of my heroes who are still alive. I've got to meet, and I've gotten fortunate that I met Stan, within years before he passed. So bucket list thing, nothing compares to that. And then yeah, I met Stan Lee and Kevin Eastman like the same weekend. So I was just like blown away. Yeah, nice. So you've been to Everett Comics as well. Cool. Yeah, so like that's I think that's just the best shop in the area. They've been there, forever since the 80s. They've got great customer service and yeah, they just treat you right. So how was Mississippi? Mississippi wasn't bad. It had some cool things going for it. I was specifically lived in like the Gulf Coast area, so we had like I guess Biloxi is the biggest man-made beach in the U.S. I want to say, and so like we had the big beach there, and I grew up in the nice town of Ocean Springs, which is just across a bridge from Biloxi, and Biloxi is known for like their casinos and things like that, and but yeah, it was pretty great. But there just wasn't a lot, like I said, in the way of a lot of nerdy type of things. They had comic shop and stuff like that for sure, but as far as conventions and things like that at the time, they didn't have. Now, the whole nerd culture thing is so much bigger that it's permeated everywhere, and I'll just see, oh, there's this convention at this smaller town in Mississippi or in the surrounding area near Mississippi. I think the nearest thing to us at the time was New Orleans, and as a little kid, like, we certainly didn't get to go over to New Orleans a whole lot, and, yeah, as I mentioned, my protective mom, that was looked at as a big scary area, New Orleans, so a lot of culture and stuff like that, but, my mom would just try to shield us from anything, like that, so I've been a few times to New Orleans, but, yeah, so they did, like, a few cons and stuff there, but I never got to go any. I think they did like the Wizard World Con at the time there, and maybe a few others. But I remember every now and then you have people who'd like set up tables in like a hotel lobby, which is that's just kind of how conventions used to be back in the day, where they were just kind of run out of like rental spaces in the mall or a comic or a lobby in a hotel and stuff like that. Yeah, New Orleans is pretty cool. There's a lot of like I don't know what you'd call, but just the architecture of certain buildings and stuff's really cool. There's a lot of great food and stuff. Of course, jazz music and things like that. It's got its stuff like everywhere else has too, but it's really known for those type of things. So it's certainly a fun experience to go down there for sure. But yeah, I actually left for college the day before Hurricane Katrina hit, and so I I went to college in Missouri, which is where met my wife. But yeah, so we traveled all the way over there, and then basically, like, even though I was in Missouri and I had like my cell phone from Mississippi or whatever, if you try to call my phone Mississippi number, you could be standing right in front of me in Missouri, and it would say, "Due to the hurricane, your call cannot be completed." And so for about 2 months, I was in a holding period where I couldn't access any of my money. No one could call me or anything like that. And so at that time was around whenever I officially like started going out with my future wife at that part. So, so yeah, it was just really kind of bizarre. It was a really bizarre holding place. So, but they've since rebuilt and kind of renewed stuff. But it's unfortunately one of those things. It's never gonna be the same as it was before I left for college. So that's just kind of a nagging side note. It's still a nice area. It's just it's different. But that's like anything. Stuff changes. So, but that's something that I never expected for that to happen over there. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing for sure. Yeah, cons these days certainly have a bigger pull on like pop culture as opposed to just artists and just the writers and things like that. And it's like you'll have all these guys, these independent guys sitting here at their tables who are, putting it, showing you their life's work. And you're just like, oh no, I can't spend $5 on your book because I have to go get a $200 celebrity photo op and stuff like that. So it's pretty messed up, but it's just kind of the nature of the beast at this point. I think that piece of it is kind of what keeps it going. And with COVID and stuff, like I don't know if we'll even see cons really ever return to the capacity they were. Um, I know I'm still more likely to go to more comic conventions than I am to like the PAX video game convention, just because like with that you're actually sharing controllers and stuff like that. There's a lot more like physical interactive stuff and just kind of being stagnated in an area, being in a 3 hour line to play a game for 20 minutes on a, you know, controller that's been, just passed through 200 people ahead of you in line. So it's like I'm a lot less likely to engage in that than just continuing to go into a big space filled with people and just looking and seeing, products and buying those products. It's more or less like a supermart for comics, comics and comic themed supplies. So that's not too outside of the realm of comfort for me. So upcoming issues I'm looking forward to. Well, I mean, when I think about like just stuff in general, um, I don't know. I've been reading and collecting for so long that it's really hard for me to um, at this point, I think it's going to be something that's going to surprise me that gets me excited. Um, I know there've been like quite a few mini series and stuff recently. Most of that stuff is wrapped though, so I know DC is kind of transitioning to their next crisis event, so that's kind of checked me out a bit of DC, which is unfortunate because DC has been the thing I've been enjoying the most. But I mean, if they're just gonna do another status quo shakeup, then I'm just like, huh. And then the fact that they're more or less trying to do their version of the all new, all different thing that Marvel did about 5 years ago, is that didn't really resonate with me either. So I don't know. So Eric, you're out of here. Well, it was good talking with you, and we'll try to do this again, Eric. Thanks. So yeah, I'm just trying to think as I'm talking about what's actually exciting me. It's really weird. I can't really pinpoint it. I mean, even I think the Ninja Turtles are kind of getting back to more confrontational stuff. There was a period where it was like very slice of life type stuff, like Battle of the Bands and all this sort of stuff. I didn't care for that, but whenever they're doing like, like the city war stuff here and all that, so that stuff was cool. I'm a lot more prone to actual action and conflict and stuff like that. Than kind of stuff that's meandering for issues, just kind of page filler, which is a lot of what that felt like. And even the conclusion of that Battle of Bands story was just, oh, Bebop and Rocksteady didn't even try. They're just like, oh, they're too good. Jenica's group is too good, so we're just not even going to try. So just stuff like that. Just like, what? So I'm just trying to think though on what I'm reading. Like I have part of a stack on me over here, but I don't know. Let's see. But this is everything I already showed you guys. I guess I could just kind of look at it off to the side here and see. I know King Spawn is really interesting. They've kind of got like a greatest hit thing going on with his threats there that I've been really enjoying, and it's just kind of adding new elements of danger to enemies Spawn's facing. So I'm really liking King Spawn right now. I'm excited by the World's Finest. Was really cool because this is kind of like an homage to a period gone by for them. It's very much late 80s, early 90-ish time period. Like Batman's got his blue and gray suit and stuff. And so I've really been enjoying that. The Batman arc was good. They just had where they had like Lex Luthor as the threat, but that just wrapped up. Detective Comics, it's the Arkham Tower. That wasn't too bad. I feel like it's kind of gone on too long though. Crossover is kind of hit or miss. This issue in particular, this was Negan coming into contact with Robert Kirkman, and so that interaction was really cool. Batman Killing Time, I really enjoyed. Just because I think they're going to take this to a really dark place, in the title there, Killing Time. This is by Tom King. He said it's removed from the other type of stuff he's done for Batman, and I mean, based upon just this one issue here, like it seems like they're gonna delve into a more savage side of the Riddler, maybe. So that's kind of a good companion piece to the Batman movie. Oh yeah, I know for sure the Action Comics stuff here has been really good. With Superman on a war world, trying to save all those people from kind of like a gladiatorial situation with Mongrel. That's been amazing, and the art's been great by Federici there. Noctera's okay. I felt like they probably could have just the first arc of it was probably the best, and I don't know. They're setting up things for it now. Um, Nightwing's good. This is the Batman variant here, but Nightwing's pretty good. Um, the stuff where like he was using Alfred's will to kind of better the area of Bloodhaven was pretty cool. And then I'm excited for what could come out of the Robin series. And if you read issue number 11, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But I don't want to say because it'll spoil it, but it'll be good if what is implied actually happens. So he said, "Oh, I haven't heard that, or maybe I briefly in passing heard Chip was taking on um, Batman. So that would be awesome. I loved Chip's run on the what was it, the Urban Legends, or was it Urban Legends? There was a recent, I think it was Urban Legends. He did like a 5 or 6 part story with Red Hood, and where he accidentally killed a kid's father, and then he's like trying to protect this kid. That was a really amazing story. Some of the best Batman I've read in a while. So I would love for Chip to take over on Batman. So if that's the case, that I'm looking forward to that. So nice surprise there. Just tell me if I still have fastball in your opinion. I'm not sure what you're asking there, Eric. Are you saying just like his ability to kind of like the magic that he used to have? I've noticed there's a bit more realism to his work now. And so if that's what you're asking, then I definitely feel like he has shifted his style a bit more to be more realistic. And I think kind of the magic of Todd was like the over the top character nature of what he did do, like the ridiculously huge capes he would put on pretty much anyone who had a cape, Batman included, and stuff like that. So yeah, he excelled for doing a lot more design choicey type stuff and just kind of over the top stuff. And I don't see that a lot on the covers and stuff he's doing. I still love Todd's work, but I definitely like a lot of Todd's older stuff as opposed to his newer stuff. Let's see here. And then, yeah, I've heard about Tom King's Up in the Sky story for Superman. I haven't read it though, but I hear it's really good. So I do want to check that out. I think they have collected it in a full book. I know that it was part of the Walmart specials they were putting out, and those are kind of hard to attain. I have a few of them, but I was just keeping them pristine. And yeah, so I certainly want to read that story though. Yeah, I love the arm wrestling cover as well. So I guess we've been on for an hour here. So does anyone have any closing questions or anything? If not, I will hop off here. I'll give y'all like a minute warning if you have any questions. And yeah, we'll try to do another one of these real soon. I certainly don't want to make this a twice a year thing. So I can't commit to once a week with this, but maybe once a month. I love interacting with you all. So let me know if you've got anything before we call it a good night. Okay, yeah, Crimson. I will certainly keep my eyes peeled, and I will be talking that up as I find out more. So that's great. I'm looking forward to that. All right. Well, I think it's been a full minute here. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. Don't unsub. We're gonna do more giveaways. I think we'll probably do our next one. Maybe I would say another 1,000 at 3,000, but that might just be too long. We might do it at 2,500 because I want to give stuff away, but at the same time, I want to see growth too. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, more giveaways coming. And then if I encounter some random stuff along the way, I will certainly keep that in mind. I might find, a rarer pop or something at the HQ for giveaways and things like that. But as far as like bigger ticket items, things that cost hundreds for me to secure, we're going to save those for, bigger subscriber goals. So maybe at 5,000, we'll do a bigger giveaway. I'd like to do it at an additional 1,000. What not, you know what I mean? Not 5,000. I'm sorry. Another 1,000 from now. So at 3,000, I'd like to do a bigger giveaway, but we might just do one at 2,500. So, all right. Yeah. So you all have a good night and have a super slumber. Oh, we've got I know rock and roll just commented. Thanks for hanging out. You're welcome. And y'all have a good night. Thanks. Bye.